Nick was horrified to discover that every night the hotel would shrink just a little bit. To test his theory, he tied a rope between two walls. After one night, the rope that had been tight the previous day was now slack. This meant that the distance between the two walls was getting smaller. What was even more terrifying was that the hotel had no exits. The chefs and guests had been living there for over 10 years, never leaving. If the shrinking continued, they would eventually be trapped to die inside. Nick shared this grim news with the other chefs, but aside from him, no one seemed to care. Reflecting on the first day he checked into the hotel, Nick had been bewilderedly assigned as a chef, tasked with cracking eggs every day. The strange events at the hotel had been ongoing ever since. One day, while Nick was using the bathroom, the door handle suddenly started shaking violently. Then, an eerie sound came from outside. Nick quickly tried to explain that he wasn't the one they were looking for, but before he knew it, several large hands reached through the gap in the door. Nick was terrified and didn't know what to do. He tried to kick the hands away, but it had no effect. Finally, after saying that he was nothing, the hands retreated. However, Nick was too shaken to leave the bathroom and had no choice but to sleep there for the night. The next day, his colleague David came in to use the bathroom and managed to rescue him. Nick knew he couldn't wait any longer. Just then, he saw the front desk employee walk into the kitchen. Nick immediately planned to ask for answers, but the moment he turned around, the front desk employee mysteriously disappeared. Realizing it was no longer safe to stay, Nick found the head chef and handed in his resignation. However, to his surprise, the head chef immediately kneeled and begged him not to leave. Seeing the head chef so distraught, Nick reluctantly withdrew his resignation. Unexpectedly, a colleague witnessed the scene and misunderstood it as Nick trying to get a promotion through this dramatic gesture. As a result, the colleague ignored him and, later that evening, kicked Nick out of the dorm. Left with no choice, Nick returned to his original room to stay for a while. Just then, chaos erupted in the hotel. Sounds of instruments playing suddenly echoed down the hallway, causing Nick to feel uneasy. The next moment, the walls and windows began to shake violently, and with the sound of glass shattering, the noise from outside abruptly stopped. In that instant, Nick realized the hotel was shrinking again.